The conservation management of our wildlife and natural resources has become more important now than ever before. Conservation efforts have worked in tandem with nature to provide a balance in natural ecological systems that can make our country beautiful and unique.
Conservation management began in the late 1800s, early 1900s with guys like George Bird Grinnell, Teddy Roosevelt, prior to that, Aldo Leopold to some degree. Grinnell and Roosevelt were concerned about wildlife species in the American West, bison specifically, Rocky Mountain elk, Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. So they set about with legislation to establish regulation and allocations. Wildlife conservation has evolved dramatically in the last 100 years. Prior to modern wildlife management, we had unregulated harvest, market hunting of wildlife, unlimited allocations, open seasons year-round, no bag limits. What we have now is highly regulated seasons, bag limits, allocations, methods and means, access restrictions, prohibitions in some instances.
Today, they manage wildlife with permits. You hear about it a lot in the lower 48, and there is a fair amount here. Sometimes I think everything should be permitted, as much as I don't like it, because, then you got to wait your turn, and you know what I mean? But I do think it's probably the leading way to conserve game in our world today.
Hunting has been a part of our national history since its founding and has become a pivotal industry to the lives of many Americans. Hunting is a crucial part of wildlife conservation and is a necessary process to protect and conserve environments and ecological systems.
Selective big game hunting is going into the field and looking for a specific age class of animal to remove from the population to help promote the species survival into perpetuity. By removing that individual to allow younger animals to come in who might have a different genetic code provides genetic diversity to the population.
It's not about killing an animal or the biggest animal or animal every year. It's just going out, having a good time, enjoying the backcountry. And if you get something, boy, it's just the frosting on the cake.
Wildlife cannot be allowed to just run wild. It must be managed in some way, shape, or form. And this is where conservation management comes into play. It's the removal of a select number of animals to ensure that wildlife populations remain healthy upon their habitat, which has a limited carrying capacity. Selective big game hunting is an essential method to conserve our wildlife in the United States.
In an industry that works so closely with nature, responsibility is a foundational pillar of the hunting industry to ensure the conservation of natural resources for future generations. With over 50 years' experience, Rob Hardy's Wilderness Expeditions is a leader in selective big game hunting and works to help preserve natural ecosystems in the majestic wilds of Alaska and elsewhere.
Rob Hardy's Wilderness Expeditions is committed to the sustainability of wildlife populations. My mission is to promote and ensure selective big game hunting. I provide a full service education on not only wildlife management, but the ecology and the biology of a wildlife species that the hunter is pursuing. It's a hands-on, one-on-one experience. I do all the guiding myself. So when a client comes on a trip with me, I'm the one that they're in the field with.
When I pick him up from a camp, it's spotless. I don't really have to police it.
Another successful trip. I survived.
I've picked up hunters from him that said, oh yeah, we seen a sheep, or we seen a moose, or we seen a bear. It was juvenile. We didn't think it was very big, so we didn't shoot it. So that's being selective. I mean, you're just not shooting anything.
Consumptive use of wildlife and non-consumptive use of wildlife are compatible. They can occur on the same population at the same time, but you're more likely, if not probably, going to see more wildlife because of hunting in the environment. That's a young bear, not one that we want to remove from the population. He's way too young.
I fly for a company, and it's called NOLS, National Outdoor Leadership School. And there would be what I would call a non-consumptive user to our game. They just love to see the animals, but they don't harvest them. And I think that should be or needs to be a part of our conserving our natural resources. And I do think you need to have a certain amount of hunting, harvesting wolves to keep that population down. There's a happy medium.
Rob Hardy's Wilderness Expeditions firmly believes in the conservation of nature and that selective big game hunting experiences will help teach about the beauty and balance that hunting provides.
The common theory is that you're removing the superior animals, the older, more educated animals from the population. However, both male and females within the population carry the genetic code for survival, adaptation, extreme growth. Some animals must be removed. And so because an older age class animal has already contributed to the population, that would be the one to select for removal.
Some of the groups that I do fly are people that think that hunting is totally wrong. It's like leave no trace or anything else. People aren't born with all this knowledge, so you do have to educate them. I think it's important through education, the people that do have money, that can spend money to put it towards those programs and stuff like that. Sometimes those are your biggest donors to programs are the richer people that do enjoy hunting.
Rob Hardy's Wilderness Expeditions is committed to the sustainable use of wildlife and wildlands in North America.
For more information, visit our website at akbearhunting.com.